back to Cryptids and Cold Ones, Cryptid Observation Corner. I am John.
And I'm Evan.
And I'm Kyle.
And on today's Cock, we have a very special guest who is going to talk about his experiences. And we're going to get to experience Evan's terrific interviewing skills once again.
Yes. So today's
But hey, I'm not done. You know
You're
what?
not done?
You know how we do this. Housekeeping.
housekeeping.
Want me fluff your pillows?
We are on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Kick, YouTube, Facebook Marketplace,
Grinder.
Craigslist Personals. You say that every week, and I'm starting to get worried about you. You're always bringing that up. Evan's on Grinder.
Maybe it's a coffee website, you know.
Oh, but you can also reach us at our number 989-402-4091. Call in, leave a voicemail with your sightings, your stories. They could be Bigfoot, it could be Mothman, ghosts, aliens. It could be anything. But we definitely want to hear your stories. Gnomes.
Yeah, Evan has a gnome sighting.
It was wild.
Evan, call into our number and tell us your gnome story again.
I already said the gnome story on an episode about gnomes.
Which episode was that? No, my gnome episode. Duh.
Yeah. So I think we should get to our guest here. We're gonna refer to him as Mr. J. So Mr. J, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? Let listeners know a little bit about who you are, and just whatever you feel comfortable with sharing. Obviously.
All right. Glad to be on. Not really a extensive background. Most of my background is in law enforcement. That's where I started. And then from there, I kind of ventured off into some specialty construction stuff as a family business opportunity with my dad, and that's where one of the stories that I think we're going to talk about came into play. But other than that, I did that for quite a few years, and then kind of got back into law enforcement in a different capacity on the civil sector. So graduated from the academy in 2001, and I've been involved in some aspect of law enforcement ever since.
Heck
yeah. I'm 75th Police Academy Delta. Woo!
69th.
Yeah.
Nice.
69.
I had to say nice.
Yep.
Nice. Thank you for your service.
So, I guess
Sorry about
we're here to talk about a couple paranormal type situations, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Now I'm aware of the first one. It was in-home type situation where the activity was taking place. I guess kind of give me a rundown of where that happened. What were you living in the home for a long time, or was it? How did you come into the home?
So it was 1989, and we were in the process of building. My dad was building us a new home, and had a pretty hot buyer for the current home, and so he decided to sell and rent while the new home was being built. And so he found a house nearby to rent, and that's what he did. And I think ultimately we were there for maybe 6 months before the new home was completed. And never really, I mean, even although I was 10, I never really put much thought into paranormal or anything like that until we lived in this house. And the crazy thing about it is every one of my family members experienced something. And it got to the point to where my mom pretty much told my dad, like, I don't care if the new house is done, we gotta go. I can't live in here another minute.
Gotcha. So it was everyone in the family that was experiencing different things.
Yep.
How
So
many people? Sorry.
5.
Okay.
so you said it started like immediately upon moving into that rental property?
It wasn't immediate. I would say we were probably there for a month before stuff started happening.
And this place was local?
Oh yeah.
Well, you'll
Yes.
have to tell us off air where it was. I'm curious. So what were the general ages of the individuals living in the home?
So I was 10, and then my brother would have been 7, and then my sister would have been 5. Um, Parents, dad's late 30s, I want to say, early 40s. Mom pretty much the same.
Gotcha. And so everyone's experiencing this. What type of stuff were you experiencing exactly?
So what I remember is, so I always remember, like, from ghost stories or whatever you want to call it, the sensation of cold. For some reason, there's always that sensation of cold, and experience that where you're in a unair conditioned second story in the summer, and it's just brutally hot and humid, and then all of a sudden there's just this snap of frigid cold air that you have no idea where it could even possibly come from. So that was one for me personally. The other one is I was getting ready to leave for school, and I legit came out of the room, and there was a little end table in the corner of the hallway upstairs, and 1,000% that thing was floating,
Oh
and
God.
then like floating, like shaking, floating, and then boom, boom, it just falls to the ground back in place.
Hell no.
So
Oh,
so we're talking some like poltergeist type activity. That's
Yeah.
wild.
wow.
Yep.
And
And then my dad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is that the creepiest thing you personally experienced, or was there
Up
anything else?
until that point, yeah, it was just weird, to have no explanation to it, because like I've always just been that kind of guy where there's a reason for something, there's a reason this is happening. I don't the cold air, that table, no, I was out of my. There's just no way I could explain it.
It's hard to explain away floating objects. I've never
Yeah.
experienced that, and it would freak me out. I will tell you that. So did it seem like the activity centered around any one person in the family, or was it pretty much everybody was experiencing things equally?
I don't remember much from my brother or sister, like in terms of a specific scenario or experience to them, but I know both my parents had it, and so my dad would bring home his work with him, papers, and one night he woke up in the middle of the night because he heard the papers rustling around, and he assumed the window was open, or maybe there was a breeze coming and it was starting to blow some of the stack off his papers. And it wasn't the case. They were sliding over to the other side of the table.
Oh my
And
God.
the whole stack of papers, because I vividly remember him describing it, went from here in a index card fashion over to here, and now the stack was over here.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Ghost was just
Nope.
making it rain
That's
with work
wild.
papers.
So
and then oh, go ahead.
no, continue. I don't want to interrupt
Well,
you.
then
You're-
so the biggest one, I think that the most memorable was my mom. We were at school, and she calls my dad at work and says, "You have to get home right now. Somebody's upstairs in the house."
Oh God. Jeez.
And she's not a gun person. She's not anything like that. And my dad came home, found her at the base of the stairs, shaking with his shotgun, unloaded, just an empty shotgun, not knowing what she's doing, because she said somebody was on one of our beds and then jumped off the bed and then just kept jumping and pounding on the floor like it was a kid up there, just jumping up and down. And she thought for sure somebody was up
That's wild.
there. And that was pretty much the end of it right there.
And so
Oh, arson. That's all I'm thinking right now is arson.
yeah,
Burn it to the
Um,
ground.
Burn that place.
yeah, I know, right?
So it does get better. So she couldn't take it. She couldn't take it anymore, and said, "We got to go. It's time to go." So we actually left and had to go and live with my grandma for the remaining few months until the house was done, and which was not ideal, but she couldn't stay in there anymore.
Right.
We packed up. We moved out. It was the last day, and we're all leaving. All five of us were leaving together in the car, and there was a window, like an attic window, on the exterior of the home that had no idea where you could get to it from inside the home.
Oh yeah.
And as we were driving away, we all just kind of looked back at it. Me and my brother and sister just kind of looked back at the house for like one final look, and all three of us saw a translucent whitish figure in that window waving at us. And you can ask every one of my siblings and they'll tell you the exact same story.
I got
It's
a
like
little bit of goosebumps
waving in
from that
victory,
one, man.
like, yeah, get out of here.
Got another one. Oh God.
So, do you know any of the history of the house at all?
My dad did look into it at some point, and he said, I mean, whether it was true or not, what he could find is that there was a suicide in there.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry to I gotta ask this question. So when you as soon as you moved out, new place with was it your grandma?
Yeah, we moved into with her.
And everything stopped though when you
Oh,
moved
yeah.
in with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing
So the house is being crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess, what do you think it is? I mean, from your experiences at that house, do you think it's like leftover energy from that person, maybe? Or is it a spirit in the house? Or do you think it's almost like demonic or something? I mean, you get the full body apparitions and the floating furniture, and I start feeling like demonic-y stuff at that point.
Yeah, I was gonna say I tend to lean towards the demonic side, although there never really seemed any like deviant intent with any of it or anything. But I don't know. I've never bought into the spirits and the energy and all that stuff. So I'm fairly religious, and I really tend to lean that way.
I'm in agreement with you on that. That's kind of how I feel about most of the paranormal type activity.
Yeah, same.
So you kind of gave me. I wanted to move on to the next one unless guys had any other questions for you on that one. But do you guys have
How
any?
long total? Sorry, yeah. How long total were you in that house for?
It'd be about 3 months.
Oh,
I think he rented it for 6, and we made it about 3, and then we had to finish out the remaining 3 with my grandma until the
okay.
run done. where we could actually, and we she couldn't even take it at my grandma's anymore, so we moved into the house with no floor. I had wood floors but no carpet. It was just an OSB, but
Oh yeah.
we just had to get out of there, so we moved in with no carpeting.
Oh man, that's wild. Oh my
It just makes me
I
happy to
just-
hear that she was like, we got to get out of here, because you watch like paranormal shows, and they'll be like, well, we didn't have
Yeah, the
anywhere to
movies.
go, so we just stayed there.
Yeah.
and it just gets worse, you know. Like that's how you get Amityville type situations.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, it really was. We still all talk about it to this day.
I immediately want to know the address when we're offline because I'm going there. No, like I'm I don't know if you follow us at all, but I don't believe in anything. Sometimes I just need like a reality check. I need to see something.
He's the resident skeptic. I mean, he doesn't disbelieve our
I
people
am
that come
too.
on.
I don't buy into any of that stuff. But
Well, yeah, and I totally believe what you saw and everything. It's just like, and then last week we had a guy who vividly told his experience about seeing Bigfoot, and I'm like, okay, Bigfoot, and then he's telling me this, and I'm like, well, this guy ain't a crackhead. He's normal. He's, you know what I'm saying? So,
well, I'm the type that like it could be right there in front of me plain as day, and I'm still gonna say, all right,
yeah,
maybe I was seeing things, but
you got 5 people.
there's no way. Like
Yeah,
all saw,
rats.
we all experienced it. It was a real deal.
Right. Yeah, that makes it even more. Jeez.
When you get the multiple witness situations, it's kind of hard to refute something's going on.
Refute. I was going to use the word compelling.
I like compelling as well.
Awesome. That's crazy. All right.
So I recalled what you told me about that. I didn't have any of the details, and I wanted you to save the details for the show so you get my genuine reaction when I'm hearing them. The second experience you had, I know you said was somewhere out west. I guess to set it up, why were you out there? What were you doing out there?
So this was post law enforcement. When my dad and I started going into the specialty constructions, which I built mirror mazes, basically is what it was. So he would go to he went to the carnival mirror mazes when he was a kid that would come to the local fairs, and he always thought it would be cool to build one on a grand scale someday. And we did our first one in Mackinac City in '96.
Oh.
And then that same complex came to Frankenmuth, and we built one there. And then I worked at that one while I was going through the academy. And a couple of guys approached one day and asked if we build these and for other people, which we didn't. And then the light bulb kind of went on for me, and I told my dad, I said, hey, we should be building these like for other people. And we did. And I mean, I built several all over the country, Canada, Sweden. They're a big deal. So anyway, that's why I was out there. We were building one at Keystone, at the foothills of or Black Hills of Mount Rushmore.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. That's like something you never hear.
Yeah, yeah. So
that's about as
we
specialty
still
as
have a
it
few
gets.
today that are still operational. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You look, all right. People always wonder, well, what the heck are you talking about, a mirror maze? But if you actually look at it, if you haven't been to one, you'll see, like, we have one in the Mall of America. That's our flagship one. And
that's got to be some strong glass too, because my dumbass has hit that many times.
Yeah, well, it's constructed in a proprietary way so that they don't break.
Oh, okay.
Very often. I mean, you can deliberately break one, but anyway, that's what I was out there for. I was building one.
Nice.
So curious about this. How big are these mirror mazes? I mean, like, I guess I knew you did that, but I guess I didn't know the scale or the amount of them you did.
Yeah, they're so the in terms of square footage, they're not huge. They, anywhere from 1,000 to our biggest was just under 1,700. So the square footprint's not huge, but
Yeah.
once you're in there, it's just infinite hallways in every direction.
Yeah.
The place looks like it's
It's
just
literal reflection everywhere. It's like
just massive. Yeah.
there's no not anything not reflecting. It's
Yeah.
like,
Right. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
oh, now we gotta remake the what's that Bruce Lee scene at the end where he's in the classroom.
Yeah. That's similar to what it is. Yeah. Well, it's crazy because if they're the way that they're built is all specific angles
Yeah.
and degrees, and if there's a few areas in every mirror maze that if you get just right, you can stand behind yourself. So I could stand here instead of looking at my reflection like you normally would. I'm looking at the complete back of me.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. So
I don't think I want to see my butt.
I'll have to send you a picture, Evan, later on what they actually look like, so you'll get an idea.
Heck yeah. So, so you're in like a town, basically.
Keystone. So the guy that we were building this particular one for, I would always assemble a crew of guys I knew from home, maybe guys that were off work or just wanted to take a break because it was a lot of fun building them. And never took any strangers. It was always people I knew. And we would always just get a hotel or Airbnbs really weren't a thing back then. It was just hotels or condos or whatever we could find. Well, this guy was kind of a little more on the eccentric side, and he had a friend out there because he lived out there that redid this old mine camp into like a makeshift bed and breakfast, if you will. But it was the original everything. They just they just redid it enough for it to be safe to be in it, but that was it. And he's like, "Oh no, you gotta stay here. You gotta stay here. It's the coolest thing. It's the cool experience, And he just was so adamant about it. He's like, it'll be a lot cheaper than a hotel and all this stuff, blah blah blah. And so that's what we.
So you're like legitimately in a Scooby-Doo ghost town, is what I'm
That,
picturing.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That is the best way you can
That's awesome, Evan.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bad movie setup too. Like he's like, no, you gotta stay here.
Oh man. So
there's a demon here I'm sacrificing them to.
Yeah, that does not sound fun. So what kind of experiences were you having there? Were they like, we didn't talk about this in detail at all. Are we talking paranormal or like something else? Because all these things and possibilities are going through my mind right now.
This one here, and I have, now I'm older, and all my crew members are my age, or and I had one buddy leave. He said, "Hey, I can't do it anymore. I gotta go." And he just got in his car and drove home from there. And so going back to the always trying to have an explanation for everything, and maybe I'm just seeing things and from that house. All that changed when I stayed in this place. I don't even know how to describe it. Stuff would happen right in front of you. Like we were sitting in like they had like a great room, a wood burner and type of thing. And there was a stack of magazines on the table. And we're just sitting in there drinking beers after working and just hanging out. One of the couple guys are making dinner. And all of a sudden, this whole stack of magazines just flies off the table, slams against the wall on the opposite side of the room, and just drops to the floor.
I have to ask you at this point: do you not trust paper products in life? Do you have PTSD?
I don't. And I'm telling you, we're looking at each other like, are we being? Is this a setup? Like, Is there a
Right.
camera somewhere? Is what's going on here?
Like a cabin in the woods type deal,
Yeah.
like that movie.
And the people that owned the property were, kind of bizarre in their own way. And but yeah, it was just so my buddy was sleeping, and they had like these. They were like oversized cribs, basically, was the beds in these rooms upstairs.
Oh my
It
God.
was just the weirdest thing. And he was sleeping in his, and his whole bed that he was in, this oversized crib thing, slid while he was in it, while he was sleeping. And when he woke up, he was on the opposite side of the room. He came and was adamant that I did it as a joke, and I did it.
Oh my God.
See,
Yeah, I would have
I'm-
drove home too.
I'm happy, but I'm also kind of jealous. I've been in some haunted locations in the past, and I've never had an experience like that. So I'm happy that I didn't, but at the same time, I'm kind of jealous because the most I got was ghost horse hoof sounds when I was in Scotland, right? And that freaked me out just enough, right? I was more messing with people while I was there. Like I came home one night from the bar and shook up a feral cat and threw it in bed with somebody. I was not nice at that time in my age. But
But this was one of those situations where you could actually hear voices. You could hear talking in the walls, and
Oh,
it was just so bizarre. It was so bizarre. And then I remember, so the protocol would be take the crew out, we would build it. Once it was completed, then I would send the guys back home, and then my dad would fly out, and then we would put the finishing touches on it, go through it, and then present it to the client. So these guys took off, and I had like 2 days there by myself, waiting for my dad to fly in.
oh god.
God.
And I remember laying, and I honestly don't know how I did it.
I'm sorry, how long was the job until they left?
We built about 3 weeks, and then they left.
Oh, okay.
So usually they averaged about a month.
So you had like roughly a month in that place, give or take?
Yeah, it was a while.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't every night, but then
Okay.
just when stuff would calm down, then something crazy would happen again. Well, so I was laying there, and you could literally feel a presence of something in there. The cold again, the sounds, and I'm by myself, and I remember just like laying in the bed and clinging to my Glock, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden I'm thinking to myself, what the hell good is a handgun going to do against a ghost? And it's just like, what am I even doing? Well, then my dad gets in, and I didn't tell him anything. Nothing.
Oh,
My guys didn't tell him anything. Nothing. Because I just wanted to have him come, get it done, and I really wanted to get home. And first night, 2:00 in the morning, he wakes me up. He says, I can't stay in here another minute. He said, I already called in town. I got us a hotel room. He says, I don't know what the hell's going on in here, but we're leaving now. And we had to I had to literally pack up. 2:00 in the morning. He's like, oh, I already got a hotel room. He's like, I can't stay in here another minute. Because he was hearing it and experiencing it, and whatever it was there. And all my guys experienced it. I experienced it, and then I didn't tell him anything, and he experienced it.
my God.
So those disembodied voices, did you catch any words they were saying? Were they speaking English? Was it like a different language?
No, it wasn't a different language. It was English, but it was like, I don't know, it just real like gravelly. Hard to like. You could tell it was English, but nothing made sense. Like it wasn't any sentence, formulated sentences. It was just words, almost like people were conversing, kind of rousing, like rousing each other or something, like
Yeah.
do or
Yeah.
something. That's the best way I could describe it.
So it just
And-
sounded like
And
Evan when he's
did
drunk.
anybody see any full? He's never experienced that.
I
I'm
gotta get invited
responsible.
steelhead.
I tried to get you to go steelhead fishing with me multiple times. I've invited all of you, everyone in this room, just to be clear. And everyone's like, "Yeah, I'd like to go." And then when push comes to shove, everybody's like, "Eh." So I will keep inviting you all because I like you all.
Yeah, I will.
You also want to take us to Africa too.
I do. I think it'd be fun. We should do a trip.
You
April
you need
Fools.
you need to stay in a
So-
haunted hotel first, and then we'll think about it.
Yeah.
I
You need to
feel
get
like
possessed by some demon or something.
I don't want to get possessed by a demon, but
You
okay.
won't.
You need to pull
Back-
a
back to
ZB
Paul
first,
here,
and then
though.
we'll.
I will say though, the experience at the mine camp versus the house, the mine camp did not feel demonic to me. It just
Okay.
felt like it was there, but it was in good spirits, like almost like it was a joke.
Huh.
Like somebody was getting entertainment out of messing with the people that stayed there or whatever.
So you think it was like cognizant and not just like I think sometimes people refer to it as like a time loop. Like people are just stuck doing what they were doing when they, during their lives. It was more
Yeah.
cognizant and actively doing things than that, but it wasn't demonic. Okay.
Yeah, well, I think that's why for some reason I didn't feel like scared or anything to stay there by myself when my crew took off. I would have if
Yeah.
I was in my late 20s, early 30s at the house I was telling you about, I would have never stayed in there by myself one night. But here I
Gotcha.
didn't have that feeling. Yeah, I didn't have that feeling here.
Did your dad say what exactly he experienced?
He could hear the stuff in the walls like we all did. And but he just said I knew somebody was in the room with me. Like I knew somebody was in that room
Oh hell no.
with me, and that's why he said he couldn't stay in there another minute without any prior knowledge to what we were all experiencing.
Oh man.
Because I kind of did it as a test, like let's see if we're all nuts and he's not, and then then he didn't make it one night.
Jesus.
I like your process there because I do the same thing when I'm trying to test something. It's like, okay, let's figure out if what we're seeing is legit or what we're experiencing is legit by bringing somebody totally different in this situation and just throwing them in it with no prior notice. Also funny, but it's a good.
I have we can do another one some other time, but I have a couple other incidents too where you don't say a word, and then like both of you say what you saw at the exact same time, and it's the exact same thing.
I mean, I'd love to have you back, and we basically my thought process is if you got more stories, I'm happy to have you back anytime. It's not a huge time commitment, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I do got a few others, and then just some fun, some interesting stories about the home I live in now.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have you back, for sure. Like maybe this time in, let's see, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If you're down.
Yeah, I'm down. I got some good stuff.
So,
but needless to say, I do believe in something now. Before I would have said, nah, I'm nuts, or maybe whatever. But after that mine shaft or that mine camp, nope.
Yeah.
There's something out there.
Yeah. Now, did anybody? I don't know if I asked this. Did anybody witness any full body apparitions there?
The only thing close was my one of my buddies got up and he said that he thought it was me coming up the steps from making like a midnight snack, and he said, "Why'd you come in my room?" And I said, "I didn't come in your room." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, you did. You walked up the stairs. You opened the door to my room. You stood there for a minute, and then you left." And I said, "No, I didn't. It wasn't me."
Creepy ass ghost.
And so he didn't say like he saw like my body or anything, but he just assumed it was me. And I said, "No, it wasn't me, man."
Man.
And I don't,
So-
I don't sleepwalk. I, never in 46 years have I ever had any sleepwalk incident ever.
So he saw something like physical.
Oh yeah,
though.
for sure. Door opened and he was the one that left because he was so adamant it was me, even though he didn't see me. He just assumed it was me. And I said, "I'm telling you right now, it wasn't me." And yeah, he's the one that said, "I gotta go. I can't."
Was
I'd
it like
probably
right
do the
after
same, man.
he's seen something, or
Yeah, it was the next day. He finished working and he's like, I'm going, man." He's like, I was like, "Dude, you're gonna drive this late?" He says, "I'm just gonna pull over and sleep and I'll make it home." And it was a long ass drive
Wow.
because we drove everywhere we went because I had to take all the tools and everything, and so we just caravan.
So is that South Dakota?
Yeah,
Or is it north? I'm trying to do a geography in my head.
yeah. So,
Okay. Yeah, man, that's
well,
interesting.
so it's
And
like Keystone is the city, and then there's Rapid City is like the last city before you're just in desolate nothing to California. But yeah, and then it's considered like the Black Hills.
Gotcha. Yeah, when you said that earlier, that's kind of why I was asking if the voices were English, because I know there's a lot of Native American stuff connected with the Black Hills. So I was curious
That's my
if
next
maybe there's. Oh man, I'm excited now.
And it's focused around steelhead fishing, so you'll like it even more.
Was it here in Michigan?
Yes, it was.
PM? Or
no, UP.
oh, I am man. You're teasing me. We might have to have you back sooner than 3 weeks. I told Mr. J, not this Mr. J, but the other Mr. J, that we both know. We've talked about it when I asked you on the show, and he said, "Hey, I have an experience too," and I said, "Yes, we want both of those." Right? I have him scheduled for next week, but the following week, you're on. We're bumping you up because I'm excited.
I honestly probably got enough for one or two more because like I said, there's a lot of stuff that happened
Wow.
back in the day, and
You're like me. You're just a dude running into weird stuff because
yeah.
if you talk to me on a daily basis, you'd never know that I've seen the weird stuff that I've done, and because it's not like I'm gonna share that with anybody, and especially not Kyle up there in the corner because he's always like, "Yeah, no, you didn't see that." But
well, now it's just like I don't know what you call it, being desensitized or what, but like after doing what I've done for so long, not much phases me anymore. So even if I do see something bizarre, it just kind of rolls off and whatever.
that's what I tell Kyle. You just got to be open to it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
man. Well,
it just doesn't help that you saw gnomes, but you're blind.
I'm sorry. I didn't ask to see gnomes, okay? And I'm not that blind.
Your eyes are already closed and you have glasses on.
I was blind when we went squirrel hunting that one time because I needed new glasses and I didn't get them.
Oh, okay. I'm
You guys
stupid.
remember the viral video of the leprechaun?
The
Oh,
Alabama
yeah.
I
leprechaun?
think it was. Yeah. So when
Yeah.
you kept saying no, that's what kept popping in my head was the leprechaun of Alabama.
Heck
Oh
yeah.
my God,
I want
yes.
to know where to go at. Bring me to gold.
Yep. Yep.
Oh
Y'all
my
see a
God.
leprechaun say, hey.
I love that. I love
Got my
that.
leprechaun flute.
That's what he had to.
That wasn't early internet, but it was. We're going on 20 years since that was on.
Oh
That
yeah.
was like
It was,
that was like maybe like the early 2010s.
yeah, it was
I don't know.
early enough. It was the onset of that sort of media.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, no, well, if you're down, we'll have you on in 2 weeks because I'm interested. So, and I'm sure the
Yeah,
other
for
guys
sure.
are too.
I am too. I
absolutely.
need addresses.
Yeah,
I'll send them on over.
we should shut down the recording because I want to know where this place was.
We can do that. No, it's never too late to escape into Mr. J's house and pretend like you're a ghost.
Night, guys.
Good night, all.